Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Hold on to your pants because we're going back in time. Back in time to 2022 and back in time to also right now, which is not in the past. Wait, now it is. Whoa, great. This is me from about 3 years ago talking about the 10 most popular fragrances for men in the world of the past 5 years to that point. Today, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be looking at the 10 most popular men's fragrance releases of the past 5 years. And now we're gonna do an update and see how things have changed, and I want you to play along and you'll see what was most popular then and also now. And you can determine which is better. Let everybody know in the comments what you think. We'll see if there's a consensus here. Are we better off now and the previous 5 years or 2022 and the 5 years before that? All of these are gonna be linked in the description. Number 10. Back in 2022, number 10 was Light Blue Forever by Dolce & Gabbana. I barely remember this guy. I'm just playing. I loved this fragrance, but it's discontinued. It was an absolute citrus bomb, which is why some people did not like it. It had this rindiness off the top. So it wasn't just like full on fresh sweet, there was also some sour in there. I thought it was really interesting, a little more natural smelling than most designer fragrances with citrus, but not everybody dug this one. Still though, when this was new and it was available, it was really popular. It felt like Dolce & Gabbana trying something new in the light blue line instead of just falling back on the common tropes and formulas that they had done before. And then after Light Blue Forever, they did Light Blue Italian Love, which was really similar to this one. And then after that, they went, actually, let's go back to the stuff we used to make. And they kind of just, started doing a lot of similar smelling light blue stuff again. So that was 2022. Heading forward to today, number 10 is The Most Wanted Parfum by Azzaro. Completely and totally different fragrance styles. Could not be more different. This is more sexy, warm, cozy, gourmand leaning for fall and winter time. Great performance, big compliment puller. Cool weather evening fragrance, good date night fragrance, whereas this is more of like a summertime, daytime scent. And this style of fragrance right now, super popular. Stuff like The Most Wanted, Stronger With You, Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal, things that are warm, sweet, sexy. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I gotta keep these separated. So we'll do it like this, I guess. And it kind of, yeah. Going back in time, number 9 was Y Eau de Parfum, which at the time was within 5 years of its new release. One of the most successful blue fragrances out there on the market still to this day. Ultra versatile, fresh, and sweet with great performance, Y Eau de Parfum. Still today, extremely, extremely successful. Maybe we'll do this like on a matchup basis. Like you guys can pick who wins more matchups here. So like this matched up with that, and this matched up with this, Sauvage Elixir. So we got a classic Y versus Sauvage matchup, just not the one that most people would usually pit against each other. Sauvage Elixir, of course, doing its own thing. It's in the Sauvage line, but not exactly. It's like Sauvage Elixir is the very rich cousin who's, I don't know, living in New York in a penthouse or something. And then regular old Sauvage is just scraping by as a general manager at your local Taco Bell. Shout out Taco Bell. And Sauvage Elixir is looking down on it like, peasant. Bring me my quesadilla. Warm, spicy, woodsy, extremely masculine with kind of a throwback feel to it. I love Sauvage Elixir. I actually don't even want to determine myself which ones I would choose, so I'm not going to. We move up one spot. In the past, Acqua di Gio Profondo, the original. Remember that when there was just one Acqua di Gio Profondo? So if you said that, people knew right away what you meant. Nowadays, it's like, oh, you mean the Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum, the old edition, Profondo Lights? Which one are you talking about? I do have to say, of course, though, I'm a big fan of Acqua di Gio Profondo. I love the stuff. This one right here, fantastic. Now, I do like the new iteration just as much. The new Eau de Parfum, I think that one is great. The Parfum, not a massive fan of. The Eau de Toilette is okay, but you know, 9 times out of 10, I'd probably rather wear the Eau de Parfum. But this is a great fragrance, a great choice, deserves its spot in the top 10. And that one is going up against Lattafa Assad. Yeah. So if you look at the top 10 fragrance releases of the past 5 years as of when I'm filming this video, yes, Sauvage Elixir is at 9 and Assad is at 8. And of course, Assad is a clone of Sauvage Elixir. So at least on Fragrantica.com, which is where I'm pulling these most popular fragrances from, sorting by most popular men's releases released within the last 5 years, that's how it shakes out. Now, Assad is so popular because it has great performance, good quality, smells quite similar, of course, to Sauvage Elixir, and it's like 20 bucks, so that doesn't hurt. I do have to say, this is the first matchup where I can confidently say between this and this, if you're gonna say, hey, you can only take one, I'm taking that one. Now, since we're talking cheapies, let's talk about making cheapies cheaper with coupon codes that you can use at discounters to take the prices that are already discounted to an even lower, unfathomable discounted level. I've got codes for a bunch of different stores here: Fragflex, The Perfume Box, Gift Express, Joma Shop. So use these codes anytime you shop at any of these stores to save yourself some money. Going back and actually watching my video from 2022, I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. I can't believe that was a top 10 fragrance at that time. What happened? Where did we lose our way? Oh. But the next fragrance up was Wanted by Night by Azzaro. What? Now, I've always loved me some Wanted by Night. I think this stuff is great, but top 10 popularity nowadays, not even remotely close. To me, it's a really unique designer fragrance, has a lot of stuff going on there, some warm spices, but with a little kick. You know, it's got cumin in there, it has tobacco, it's got a nice ambery kind of sweet aspect to it. Really unique smelling amongst pretty much everything else on the market. This stuff used to be turbo cheap. At one point in time, they were basically giving this away. I remember Fragrance X, which used to be a much larger discounter, and now it's kind of fallen by the wayside. It's still around and everything, it's just people don't shop there like they used to. But they had this one, and they were giving it away for like 20 bucks, full presentation. Now, as time has gone on, that price has gone, and now it's, I think, 80 or so at discounters, which is still not nuts in the butts expensive, but it's 4 times more than it used to be. So when you think about it that way, well, yeah, nuts in the butts. People say that. That one is gonna go up against YSL Myself. That is the current fragrance in the top 10 that matches up against the Azzaro. Once again, very different styles here, and also very different Azzaros. The Most Wanted Parfum, very modern, very sticky, almost syrupy, sweet with a nice woodiness, a little touch of smoke through there. Azzaro Wanted by Night, leaning more on that spicy side of things with tobacco. And then coming back to the Myself, this something completely different. This just really clean, fresh, classy, easy to wear. That's pretty much it. White flowers, citrus, amberfix, so kind of an amber woodiness and the dry down. That's what's going on. But in terms of versatility, this is probably the most versatile fragrance up here alongside the Aqua de Jaune, maybe the YSL. Oh, the other YSL. So Myself up against Wanted by Night, two very different choices. I truly wish I could like put a voting thing like with this video where as everything went along, people could vote with like which one they pick from each matchup. YouTube, make it a thing. That'd be sick. You want another blast from the past? Okay, La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique by Yves Saint Laurent. Oh man, I remember this like it was yesterday. If you weren't keen on fragrances at the time, let me set the stage for you. At the time that this released, La Nuit de l'Homme and L'Homme by YSL, of course, had not yet fallen off as much as they have nowadays, because I mean, we're not even getting new ones, or haven't for a while. And then they announced this right here, Bleu Electrique, and everyone, myself included, was very intrigued. They had Eau Electrique before this one, which Eau Electrique was okay if you were looking for something that was just, you know, easy to wear, compliment pulling type of scent, a little bit in the vein of like Eros by Versace, kind of like that. But Bleu Electrique was something completely different. Essentially what they did is they went back to that original La Nuit de l'Homme styling, but then they modernized it, which is something a lot of fragrance houses have been doing, even here recently, but they did that. They gave it a blue fragrance lift. So it had more of this zingy freshness off the top, still had a really nice sweetness to it. Super easy to wear, sexy, versatile, people loved it. It actually reminds me a little bit of La Nuit de l'Homme Frozen Cologne, which was discontinued a long while back. So with YSL having a hot new La Nuit de l'Homme, everybody was talking about it, which is why it was here in the top 10. And then what happened? They discontinued it. Wait, what? Yeah, they discontinued it. Pretty quick, actually. At least in North America, basically this came out, everybody scooped it up as quickly as they could. Then it went out of stock and everyone was like, ah, dang, I guess I'll just wait a second. Oh wait, it's never coming back. That's what happened. Which is why you never see this talked about now, because you haven't been able to find it for a while. But back when you could, everyone wanted it. And that one is going up against Liquid Brune by French Avenue. Which, look, Liquid Brune smells fantastic, and it is completely different from this one. But it is, once again, a clone fragrance, a cheap, affordable alternative to Parfums de Marly's Altair, which kind of shows you how popular clones have gotten, that some of the bigger clone releases are right up here in the top 10, alongside stuff like Myself and Sauvage Elixir. And truth be told, this stuff for the price, absolutely amazing. Fall, wintertime smells fantastic, really sexy, very similar to Altair, but kind of a similar thing with Sod over here, where if you're gonna make me pick one, I know which one I'm picking. Back in the past, another very random choice, Toy Boy, Moschino. Yeah, what, huh? Yes, Toy Boy. I know that this one has kind of fallen off in the sense that people don't talk about it all that much, kind of like a couple of the other ones over here. But when it came out, a lot of people were hype about it. At discounters, basically free. I mean, still to this day, it's pretty freaking cheap. It projects like a beast. Like, this stuff is loud, it is strong, but it's also really different. Compared to everything else up here, it is boundary pushing a bit. Floral forward to the point that some people would say completely unisex. One of the only men's fragrances that really makes use of the note of magnolia. So yeah, very different. And that one going up against Born in Roma Intense by Valentino. This is more of that standard fragrance styling nowadays. Vanilla, lavender, woods, very sweet, but also fresh, big compliment puller, big performance, everything big. And definitely between these two, the Moschino is more unique. The Moschino is taking more chances. And between these two, if I were gonna pick just one, it would be the Valentino. This stuff I can wear all the time, big confidence booster, just smells amazing in the air. The Moschino also smells really good. Great performance, great quality for the price, but a little more of a particular scent. Back in the past we go, just outside the top 3, Explorer by Mont Blanc. Obviously this is still a really popular fragrance, but when this first dropped, people loved some Explorer. And it makes sense why it was the first big designer house to come out with a fragrance that's, you know, pretty similar to Aventus. And love it or hate it, Aventus is crazy popular. So to have that DNA come out from a designer house and a nice packaging from an actual named perfumer, a lot of people were about that, especially when it hit discounters on the cheap. It's the type of fragrance you can wear literally whenever you want. And that one goes up against the only niche fragrance to crack the top 10 on either side, Altair. So we got the Altair clone right here. We got the actual Altair right here. Altair right here. I got it right here for you. Sweet, 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 warm, rich, cozy, sexy, and expensive. Altair does smell fantastic though, and it's one of those fragrances that grows on you, kind of like cordyceps. At first you're like, I don't know about these cordyceps, man. This is probably not good. I should probably not let this grow on me. And then eventually it works its way to your brain, and before too long you're like, this cordyceps ain't so bad actually. I think it replaced my brain, but it's okay. Back to the past, the top 3. Number 3, Le Male Le Parfum. And you're about to see a little more Jean Paul Gaultier in this list, and a big reason for that is TikTok. Which, by the way, if you're on TikTok, throw me a pity follow. Thanks, @Gents. TikTok is about taking something and everyone running with it to the point that it becomes like a stampede of trying to push that thing. Jean Paul Gaultier has been a big beneficiary of that, so has Louis Vuitton. And this one was really one of the first ones that started to get that heavy push. Now the fragrance is great, a nice modern interpretation of the original Le Male, made more for evening use, fall, winter, very classy, powdery, sexy, sweet. And it goes up against Le Beau Le Parfum over on this side. Even though these are both JPG Le Parfums, they're both very different. This one over here, tropical, creamy, sweet, also a bit fresh. Kind of heavy for like middle of summer if it's really hot where you are, really hot and humid. But outside of that, this stuff crushes pretty much all year, and a big compliment puller as well. Guys, number 2. On this side, back in the past, is actually Eau de Parfum. I'm a moron. Number 9 was Sauvage Eau de Parfum. Oops. So yeah, actually it was Sauvage Eau de Parfum matched up with Sauvage Elixir, which makes it somehow even more interesting, and I foobarred it. But we're too far ahead to fix it now, so we're just gonna roll with it. So going back to number 9, Sauvage Eau de Parfum. Like I said, I screwed up. It wasn't Y Eau de Parfum. Y Eau de Parfum is actually number 2, way more popular. Sauvage EDP is, to me, a little bit better than the Eau de Toilette. More rounded, a little extra sweetness from vanilla in there, a little easier to pull off. Not that the Eau de Toilette is hard to pull off, it's not. It's just a little more aggressive with like the Ambroxan, that metallic kind of feel. So that's the correct matchup, the Sauvages. Number 2, YSL Y Eau de Parfum from the past, going up against Imagination, Louis Vuitton. So this right here is one of the most hyped fragrances, period, if you go to TikTok over the past forever. I do think this smells great. It is versatile, easy to wear, smells awesome. Quality is good. The price, probably a little too high. But part of that actually feeds into the hype of the fragrance, which is, it's kind of a flex. Oh, I'm wearing Louis Vuitton. It kind of feeds into the crowd who is just about flexing on people, just to flex on people. It's that whole vibe of like, oh yeah, I'm wearing Dior, also with Gucci, also with Ferragamo, also with Yves Saint Laurent. You know, just like I'm wearing $5,000 worth of clothes just because it makes me feel better than you. This fragrance kind of feeds into that a little bit, which is like the one thing I don't vibe with the fragrance. It's not the fragrance's fault. It's just, you know, that's kind of like part of it at this point. And then number 1 for the past was Sauvage Elixir. So moving it from 9 here, which I did have correctly placed, over to number 1. So this one has carried on, but it has been supplanted. And the number 1 now is Le Male Elixir. Battle of the Elixirs, a great matchup here, and one that I can't really pick a favorite. It's 1A, 1B, you know, it depends on which day. Le Male Elixir, really similar to Le Male de Parfum, only it has more of that honeyed sweetness to it, which some people prefer. I actually like it a little bit more, but some people like the somewhat more elegant Le Male de Parfum. Either way, you can't go wrong with either of those fragrances. But that's the final matchup, the Elixir Bros, Sauvage Elixir, Le Male Elixir. So I want everybody to tally up their scorecards. Was it split 5-5? Is there a clear winner on one side or the other? And let me know how it shook out for you. I think looking at both sides, it's really difficult actually. It's not exactly apples to apples because this has some discontinued ones that are really more hard to find nowadays, more difficult to find. So I might lean that direction. But then at the same time, there's a lot of ones over here that I love to wear, so I could lean that direction, either way. If you've hung with me here until the end, I have a giveaway for you guys, something kind of random. So this is Balmain Blanc Galaxy, little 50 ml Eau de Parfum. It is opened, but I'll make sure that it's taken care of on its way to you. So if you want to be entered in the giveaway for this little fragrance right here, you know the drill. Like the video, be subscribed to the channel, leave a comment below, and in that comment, just give me your scorecard, which one won. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.